I'm attempting to run Pokémon Sword using a team comprised of these 6 Pokémon, representing the 6 Pokémon toys my child has. For added difficulty, I'm not using items in battle. Also, I've been attempting to have my team faint as little as possible. Welcome to part 3 of my Pokémon Sword Toylocke. Now, in the last episode, we knocked out the Gym Challenge, defeating Bee, Opal, Gordy, Piers, and Rayhan. Bee got kicked out of the challenge for defacing a historic monument before Opal chose him as a replacement for her gym. Marnie helped us into the closed-down Spikemuth to battle her gym leader brother. Hop is struggling with not living up to his brother's legacy. Sonia continued investigating the legend of the Darkest Day, while Leon has been distracted with the effects of whatever Chairman Rose is doing in his secret power plant. It sure seems like a lot of things are set in motion as Hop and I are bound for Wyndon to take our place in the Champions Cup. The train sets us out at the wall of snow that is Route 10, and Hop takes off to hunt down some Ice-type Pokemon. Okay, this seems like a good place to stop and address my fainting rule real quick. I added the rule of no fainting for bonus points as a barometer on how prepared I am for a traditional Nuzlocke. But the point of this Toylocke was always to see if I could beat the game with Kaysen's team, so I haven't been sweating that rule. Now I've decided on a new rule for the Champions Cup to make the run a little more interesting. If any of the characters I'm about to face are defeated by me, they're done. They've lost their run at the championship. It's only fair if I follow the same rules. If I lose any of the upcoming Champions Cup battles, then that's it. I have to accept my loss and move on. We have made it to Wyndon. Wyndon, of course, is based on London, with architectural landmarks inspired by the Palace of Westminster, Big Ben, the London Eye, and Wembley Stadium. The shopping district is even modeled after Piccadilly Circus. While I'm content to take a quiet moment to enjoy the city, Hop can't spare a minute. He still believes his destiny is to beat his brother and become champion, and I just don't have the heart to tell him he isn't the main character. He's not wrong to be excited. It seems all of Wyndon is hyped for the Champions Cup. Hop and I present our badges to the event staff, and it's time to get this party started. And of course, right out the gate, I'm up against my girl Marnie. Litten leads off against Liepard. Liepard tries to boost his attack, but Litten takes him out with a quick double kick. Next up is Scrafty, whom Litten burns with a Will-O-Wisp. Scrafty's Shed Skin ability heals the burn, so we double kick him to death instead. Toxicroak is up next, so I swap to Pikachu. He gets off a Sucker Punch before going down to Thunderbolt. Litten returns to meet Morpeko, who immediately goes down to a double kick, and finally her Grimmsnarl faces off against Pikachu. Pikachu nearly gets him with an Iron Tail, but it's not quite enough for Pikachu, and he gets slammed with a nasty Max Starfall. I guess I'll send Litten back up to Finn. Wait a minute! Pikachu lives on 1 HP. What a rock star. Marnie uses the next turn to heal up Grimmsnarl, only to have Pikachu put him back in trouble. It's very unlikely that Marnie will use a second full restore, or that Grimmsnarl will outspeed Pikachu, so we go for it. One last Iron Tail wins us the first qualifying match. Hop is up next. Pikachu takes out Dubwool with no problems. Litten takes on Snorlax and takes no damage as he handily wins the fight. In our last fight, Hop's Pincurchin used its Lightning Rod ability to absorb Pikachu's Thunderbolt and raise its special attack. Apparently, I had forgotten about that. Before my lack of attention gets Pikachu hurt, I swap in Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur sits through a couple curses, but ultimately wins the round with a Solar Beam. Pikachu discharges all his electricity on Corviknight, and Hop is down to his final Pokemon. Charmander and Rillaboom face off in a one-sided Dynamax battle. A single Max Flare ends the battle in my favor. Alright, a lot happens the first night of the Champions Cup, so hold on, we're gonna speed through this. Leon offers to take Hop and I to dinner, but several hours later he hasn't shown up. Piers saw him heading for Rose Tower and agrees to take us there along with Marnie and Team Yell. But surprise! Obviously Evil Alina doesn't want us to interrupt them, so she gives the monorail key to a random staffer and has them go hide in the city, because that's how secretaries to important businessmen do it in Galar. One by one we beat the staffers until Piers gives an impromptu performance allowing us to get the key and commandeer the monorail. Marnie stays behind to help her brother as Hop and I storm Rose Tower, setting off an alarm in the process, which forces us to have to defeat numerous staffers in a high-tech elevator. At the top, we finally meet Alina in battle. One by one, her beautiful, elegant Pokemon go down before she shows off the Pokemon that truly represents her soul. Garbodor goes down too. Rose is trying to get Leon to agree to postpone tomorrow's championship in order to help him solve an energy crisis that is over 1,000 years away from happening. Leon thinks that is exactly as dumb as it sounds, so Hop and I interrupt and take him to dinner. The next day, one of the good staffers comes to get me for the championship match, in which I'll be facing off against the gym leaders once again, as they are also in a run for the championship. Whew! Leon opens up the Champions Cup, but before he can officially start things, our pal Bede crashes the party. Charmander takes out his Mawile, Squirtle trades blows to take out Garbodor, and Pikachu Iron-Tails Rapidash before it even has a chance. Hatterene gets Gigantamax, so Pikachu decides to play too. Max Steel Spike is actually not enough to finish this, so Pikachu takes a Max Flare, and Bede uses a full Restore. The faster Pikachu gets off 2 Max Steel Spikes, and the match is ours. Next up is Nessa. Golisopod does big damage, but Pikachu Thunderbolts the crap out of him, Barraskewda, Seaking, and Pelipper before Bulbasaur takes down Dreadnought. Bee's team is a bit bulkier than Nessa's in the HP department, but she still goes down without much fight. Man, we are breezing through this thing with massive confidence. But our first red flag that the game is about to stop playing nice is right around the corner. Rayhan leads with Torkoal, and I answer with Squirtle. His Torkoal has the ability Drought, which turns the sunlight harsh. This matters because Squirtle's Hydro Pump isn't enough to take Torkoal out. With the harsh sunlight, Torkoal is able to absorb light and fire a solar beam in 1 turn rather than 2. Rayhan then uses a full restore, leaving Squirtle 2 free shots to take Torkoal out. Goodra is up next. I have Squirtle set up Rain Dance to activate his Rain Dish and heal up. Curiously, Goodra also tried to set up a Rain Dance. That couldn't be bad for me, could it? I withdraw to boost my defense, but Goodra goes ahead and takes Squirtle out with Thunder. That was unexpected, but I have another Squirtle. We hit Goodra with Ice Beam to no avail. However, Thunder nearly does take Squirtle out. We swap in Charmander, who takes a Thunder, answers with a Dragon Breath, and gets taken out by Muddy Water. We gotta be careful. If we lose this, the run is over. Bulbasaur has been a star thus far, so he comes out to try and get us through this. Bulbasaur Seed Bombs Goodra, which reveals to us Goodra's Sap Sipper ability. So grass attacks will make Goodra's attack rise. Goodra sets up another Rain Dance, and Bulbasaur goes for a Solar Beam. I gave Bulbasaur a Power Herb for just this occasion. He absorbs the light and fires in 1 turn, but it isn't enough, and Goodra's attack rises. Goodra hits Surf, and we plant a Leech Seed, once again activating the Sap Sipper. After another Surf, it's clear Bulbasaur is only making things worse, so we swap to Pikachu. But it doesn't help much. We are now down half our team. Pikachu's Sacrifice does get us a clean switch-in, which allows Squirtle to take out Goodra with an Ice Beam. Rayhan is keeping the pressure on us, though. Flygon takes Squirtle out with an Earthquake, and suddenly Bulbasaur and Litten are all that's left to get us to the end. Litten faces off against Flygon. He burns Flygon with Will-O-Wisp, who in return sets up a Sandstorm. Litten hits a powerful Facade, but Flygon has Earthquake. Litten's fate is sealed. However, the damage he did deal, along with the burn, take Flygon down. Bulbasaur is all that's left, with 2 Mons left opposing him. First up is Turkinator. This part turns out to be instrumental in deciding the outcome of this match. On the first turn, Turkinator sets up a Shell Trap, but Bulbasaur plants a Leech Seed, so the trap fails. On the second turn, I have Bulbasaur set up a Growth to raise his special attack. Turkinator sets up a Sunny Day. After that, Turkinator seems to think the only way to beat Bulbasaur is with a Shell Trap, but as long as I don't attack, I won't fall into the trap. So I start spamming Growth as the Leech Seed chips away his health. Eventually, the Leech Seed brings Bulbasaur back to full health, and the Growth maxes out his special attack. We Seed Bomb Turkinator and move on to Duraludon. Bulbasaur is boosted, and I'm feeling hopeful. A Max Overgrowth does major damage. Duraludon answers back with a Max Steel Spike, which knocks off half Bulbasaur's health. The next attack will decide the match. By the grace of God, Bulbasaur outspeeds Duraludon, lands the Max Overgrowth, and against all odds, wins us the match. It would have been very easy to give up there, but Bulbasaur carried us to a victory. That one got tough, in a very real way. We almost lost, but no matter, we've done it. We've made it to the top. Our next match is against the unbeatable champion, Leon. Come what may, we have proven ourselves survivors, and earned the right to compete for the Galar champion. And Chairman Rose is interrupting us. Alright, looks like it's not time for our final fight. Well, time to go save the world, I guess. Chairman Rose has started another darkest day in order to fix the energy crisis he foresees happening thousands of years in the future, but he can't control the energy he released, so Leon rushes off to clean up the mess. We head home in hopes that the mystery Pokemon we saw there is one of the two that saved Galar last time. We get lost in a fog and see our mystery Pokemon, this time with its buddy. Sonia reveals that they are Zacian and Zamazenta, but that information doesn't help us, as all that seems to be left of them is a shrine and some old artifacts. We speed back to Hammerlock, where Olina suddenly isn't so sure about her boss's plan. Imagine that. Apparently Rose awakened a Pokemon called Eternatus, the origin of the energy that causes Dynamax, which has caused Pokemon all over Galar to Dynamax and Rampage. Why couldn't we go deal with that? Instead, we face off against the Remorseless Rose in a standard battle in which Charmander pretty much one-hit KOs his entire team. On the roof, Leon is trying to catch Eternatus, but of course that goes poorly, so I step in and take on the beast. Charmander, Squirtle, and Pikachu all put in chip damage but inevitably go down. Litten hangs in there a minute and manages to burn the otherworldly dragon. Squirtle comes back in to stall and chip away. Squirtle goes down, but Eternatus succumbs to his burns. However, instead of passing out like any good wild Pokemon, Eternatus takes his loss as a sign that it's time to Gigantamax himself. To top it off, my Pokemon, who are suddenly fully healed, are unable to move, so logically we use the sword and shield we found to summon Zacian and Zamazenta. After a little back and forth, the combined might of my crew, Hop's team, and 2 legendary Pokemon proves too much for Eternatus to overcome. We defeat it, I catch it, our 2 saviors fly off into the sunset, and after a 3-day nap, we're finally back to our championship match. Okay, everyone caught up? You ready? Okay, here we go. Charmander faces off against Aegislash, who protects itself on turn 1. Apparently it knows Charmander has a super effective flamethrower coming. A Shadow Ball does some scary damage, but Charmander does take him out. Haxorus and Squirtle square off, and I'm already feeling confident. But Haxorus humbles us with an Outrage. We try to fight back with an Ice Beam, but it's not enough. Charmander comes in and goes down to Outrage. And then Pikachu goes down to an Earthquake. Half the team is down in moments. But remember, I had a similar situation with Rayhan. Am I sweating? Not yet. As Litten comes out, Leon heals this beast, allowing us to get off a flamethrower, but Bulbasaur is next, and finally, Squirtle is all that's left. He lives the Outrage and gets a Hydro Pump. But does it even matter? This monster just slaughtered my entire team. If Squirtle does beat him, there are still 4 others waiting. Haxorus lands the final blow, and it's all over. We gave it a shot, but I couldn't lead the team to victory.
It's a self-imposed challenge run of a children's game. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Play your challenge runs however you think they're the most fun for you, okay? It's not that big of a deal. Do you know why I play without items and without over-leveling and without Garchomp in my runs? It's because it's more fun for me. Because I'm more of a gamer or because I'm better. It's just more fun for me to play that way. So if you wipe on the Elite Four and you want to come up with a rule that's like, fuck it, I can try again because that's more fun for me. That's the whole point why you're doing this.
We can't claim to be the champions of Galar, but nothing says we can't beat Leon in an exhibition match. So let's see if we can beat the unbeatable champion. Our second attempt is a fail. Attempt 3 goes 30 minutes. Squirtle stalls through Haxorus with Withdraw, Healing, Rain Dance, and Rain Dish. We learn that Dragapult is up next, and he takes out Pikachu, Charmander, and both Squirtles. We only got by him after reviving one of the Squirtles. That's right, I decided I'm using items now. Charmander takes out Mr. Rhyme, and Bulbasaur takes out Inteleon, but Charizard brings Attempt 3 to a swift close. Alright, 4th time's the charm. This time, I led with Pikachu. I've noticed Aegislash always starts with a King's Shield. Pikachu encores him into that move. This gives Charmander a chance to get in and receive an X Special Defense, X Speed, and X Special Attack. Charmander takes down Pokemon number 1. Next is the big threat of Haxorus. Charmander is in danger of going down to an Earthquake, but despite this, he stays in and gets off a Dragon Breath before going down to Outrage and getting Squirtle a clean switch in. Squirtle plays the long game over the next 13 turns. Haxorus nearly kills Squirtle with an Outrage. Squirtle gets an Iron Defense and a Max Potion as Leon uses his full Restore. After that, Haxorus only uses Outrage. We're stalling and getting Squirtle pumped up. We stall through 3 Iron Defenses, 2 X Special Defenses, 2 X Special Attacks, and an X Speed, all the while fearing a critical hit which will double damage and ignore Squirtle's stat boosts. Finally, our patience pays off, and Haxorus goes down to an Ice Beam. Squirtle is now jacked and takes out Dragapult in one shot. We're feeling good about this run until our juiced Squirtle goes down to Mr. Rhyme, but not before setting up Litten to burn the malevolent mime to death. I thought I had played the patience game against Haxorus, but then came Bulbasaur's battle against Inteleon. Inteleon's strategy is to lower our attack and special attack with Tearful Look and hit us with Mudshot to further lower our speed. But Bulbasaur takes the Mudshots and Dark Pulses like a champ, so we begin a stalemate of raising and lowering stats that lasts 21 turns. During that time, Bulbasaur takes 7 X Speeds, 2 X Special Defenses, 4 X Special Attacks, 3 Max Potions, and performs 1 Growth. After all that, Bulbasaur went on the offensive twice. Once with a Seed Bomb, and once with a Leech Seed. And it was the Leech Seed that chipped away and destroyed Inteleon from the inside as we continued to bulk Bulbasaur up for what was to come. Charizard. We are in the best position we've been in so far. Squirtle and Pikachu are still with us, and both with type advantages over Charizard. But Bulbasaur doesn't want to quit. This little dendrological dinosaur is determined to destroy the dastardly dragon despite his disadvantages. And so it comes down to this, Bulbasaur versus Charizard. Bulbasaur is much faster at this point and gets off a Max Overgrowth, which is answered with a G-Max Wildfire. And of course, Bulbasaur gets burned. Bulbasaur doesn't let up, but neither does Charizard. Max Rockfall kicks up a Sandstorm. Both sides are lost in a swirling vortex of sand, stinging at their skin, and Bulbasaur is feeling the bite of Charizard's flames. This is it. An entire adventure has come down to one turn. Whoever lands the next blow will decide this battle. We cannot claim to be the champions of Galar. The ease we experienced getting to the Champions Cup ensured our overconfidence was in overdrive in the championship match. It was only after the lure of fame and fortune was off the table that we looked deep inside ourselves and were able to rise to the task of simply beating the unbeatable champion. I didn't make Kaysen's team champions, but I did learn that they have the capacity to become champions. What's next for me? I guess I need to stop beating around the bush and attempt my first Nuzlocke.